one of the dominant plant species, actually an indicator species of a nutrient-poor, very acidic site with organic soils. So organic just meaning lots of organic matter instead of mineral soil. So our bog, lots of organic, deep organic matter here, is our Labrador tea. I wish you were here so you could smell this plant. Beautiful smelling plant. It's not quite in bloom yet. You can see in your plant book on page 40, it gets a beautiful white blossom off the top of the plant. You can see some of the dead flowers and seeds from last year at the top of it here. Really unique, kind of shaggy, scrubby looking plant. So it has those very leathery leaves similar to the bog cranberry and bog rosemary that we saw. And on the undersides of them has these orange hairs. So the leaf, we call it recurved, so you can see it almost forms like a little canoe. So the leaf curves under. Here's the top of the leaf. And the underside has those orange hairs. Since I'm pointing at the book, I might as well show you the flower on top there and the scale to a little squirrel on the drawing there. Important feature why I'm emphasizing that orange hairs underneath, because there's a similar plant called trapper's tea. Trapper's tea has white hairs on the underside of the leaf. Trapper's tea is poisonous. Orange underside Labrador tea is not poisonous. You can actually make tea out of it. However, our stomachs are not used to it, and I don't recommend using a lot. For me, 2 leaves per cup of tea is more than enough. I've made tea with 3 leaves, and my stomach started to cramp, and I did not feel too good. Use caution if you plan to make any medicinal or food substances from things you find in the bush. Start with a very small amount if you know for sure it is edible. Our plant book is pretty good at talking about what's edible and what's not. But make sure you know and aren't experimenting things with you're unsure about, especially dosage, because you can make yourself quite sick if you don't know what you're doing. So these haven't started growing yet for the spring. These are the leaves that were previously on the plant. It's an evergreen deciduous plant, meaning that the leaves will stay on there. It's not a deciduous plant because the leaves stay on. So it's a flowering plant in the angiosperms, which we'll talk about what that means later in class. But those leaves will stay on there, but it reproduces by flowers.